Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Wonder Snatch. It's a long-awaited dermatology and drag, and today I'll be talking about all things blue, okay? Blue things in the skin and how your skin can appear blue in some cases. Okay, I did a small segment of this before when I did my color bingo makeup, okay, but today is an extension because I'm going to be painting myself blue for an extra bluesy look, all right? If that's something you want to see, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ring that bell for post notifications, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, okay, going to be painting myself blue. I think the last time I painted myself blue on this channel was for my corpse bride look, okay, and that was quite successful. And yeah, since my color bingo makeup thing was like quite a number of years ago, I think it's okay to, repeat in case people are interested on how things on the skin can appear blue. So when you think about things that on the skin that can be blue, they're not a lot of things that are actually blue, okay? Things that are actually blue include things like hemoglobin, okay, deoxygenated hemoglobin. So in some cases of cyanosis or poisoning or blood poisoning, the blood can appear blue, and that's what makes some lesions look blue. But most of the time, things that are blue on the skin are actually not blue, okay? It's actually black or brown, and because it's underneath several layers of skin, this is a phenomenon called the Tyndall effect, where these things actually appear blue because of the different refraction of light. Okay, I'm going to be using some of my Athena palette, which is really old, and my Spectra base, okay, my Glisten Cosmetics. Mixing these colors will give me the blue. So I'm going for Smurf blue, okay, like so this almost like a light baby blue color. In medicine, when you talk about causes of stuff, this is what usually we call a differential diagnosis, okay? So if you've been watching The Pit, this is what the residents usually come up with, okay? What's the cause of X, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in medical school, usually what they teach you is to give a very structured way of answering this question. So I think some of the residents on The Pit actually do this. Okay, so it's called a surgical sieve. You actually have different categories to slot different diagnoses into, and this helps you organize your thoughts a little bit. Okay, so it's called a surgical sieve. They're really complicated ones. Okay, the one that I used when I was in school was called, I used this thing called vitamin D3, okay, so things like vascular lesions, inflammatory lesions, traumatic lesions, okay, but today I think I'm going to keep it simple. The main groups you can actually think about it is it congenital or acquired, okay, were you born with it or did it come on later in life, or is it global or is it localized? Okay, so I've mixed this up. Let's hope this works. I'm using a fresh beauty blender because I don't want any bastardization from my usual foundation colors. Oh, and I'll probably get rid of this shit. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Let's hope this is nice and full coverage. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm trying to match this to a body stocking that I have. This is truly Smurf blue. Okay, so let's start with congenital causes of blue. So if a person is born blue, completely blue, there are several things they need to rule out. One, of course, before I mentioned, was deoxygenated hemoglobin. Is there cyanosis? Okay, central cyanosis. Usually, when a baby is blue, it usually suggests that there is some sort of problem with the circulatory system. Okay, so things like congenital heart defects can cause shunting of blood, which causes poor oxygenation, and so the baby appears blue. There's some genetic conditions, metabolic conditions, which actually causes the blood to be poorly oxygenated, and this can cause methemoglobinemia, okay, and causing a blue baby. And this is hereditary methemoglobinemia, okay? Okay, in some congenital cases, you have dermal melanocytosis, okay, when pigment cells are trapped under the skin. You can get birthmarks that are blue, that appear blue. As I mentioned, the pigment cells that are black or brown trapped under the skin look blue. These are usually quite more localized, but there are rare cases of it being quite extensive. Okay, and of course, there's this phenomenon called the blueberry muffin baby, where you actually get these blotches of blue all over the baby, okay, and it can be caused by many different things. One is, of course, the vessels, okay, and these abnormal vessels where the blood is trapped in the skin can be caused by certain infections, okay. These are the torch infections, like toxoplasmosis or cytomegalovirus, okay, but it can also be caused by tumors, okay, so certain tumors, like lymphomas, can be trapped in the skin, okay, causing this vasculature that leads to what we call the blueberry muffin baby. Okay, so that is the blue base. I'm going to go in here with white to highlight. I'm using my 070. And then turning this over and using this corner to blend this out. Okay, yeah, but actually having a blue baby is quite a rare occurrence. So, if you do come across anything like that, these are the things you need to look out for. Okay, now I'm just going to blend that out properly. Okay, so those are the main causes of congenital blueness. Okay, so we're going to move on to the larger category, which is the acquired one. The blueness that is acquired throughout life. Okay, and of course, we can split this into global and localized again. Okay, so the global causes of blueness acquired, the big one is usually either methemoglobinemia, which is acquired. That means not a genetic condition. And this can be caused by medications. Some drugs like local anesthetics, okay, when they go systemic, okay, can cause methemoglobinemia. So when kids come for procedures, there's this topical anesthetic called amla, okay, and this usually contains lidocaine. And if you put too much on the baby and it gets absorbed through the skin, sometimes this can turn the baby blue with methemoglobinemia. That is all I am going to be doing for now. I think I want to lighten this up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to get more of my clown white light. I'm just going to lighten these areas, okay? Okay, I think that's better. Other drugs that can cause you to turn blue include things like minocycline. Okay, it's an antibiotic that sometimes gives you this kind of a slate grayish, bluish look. Okay, and of course, ajaira, which is a silver poisoning. Silver poisoning can turn some people blue. So, drinking well water, or even sometimes people overdosing on silver because they think it's got some magical properties. Okay, so I'm just going to put on my face tips and draw in my brows, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've powdered, and I've used white to powder just to tone down the blue, and I'm just going to brush this off and meld it in so to, make it look a little bit less patchy. Problem is, after you paint yourself a color, all your brushes need to be washed properly. If not, all this blue is just going to go into your next makeup look. Okay, this is blending in the powders. Very, very smooth blue. And then I'm going to use my Spectra set, which is the blue powder. Okay, and I'm just going to bring this color back into some of the faces. I think I've used this brush before as blue, so I'm just going to use this to bring some of the color back. Okay, so it doesn't look so patchy. Okay, so other causes of blueness in skin, acquired blueness. Okay, so as I mentioned before, not only pigment can appear blue, but vessels. Okay, so what are the causes of cyanosis? Okay, in adulthood or acquired cyanosis? This includes suffocation and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go in the eyes now. I'm going to use my Create paints, okay, in blue, just to map it out. Okay, this blue is slightly different color, so okay, I hope this works. I'm just going to use this as a base, I guess. And then you have, of course, peripheral cyanosis, where you look okay here, but your extremities turn blue, and this is usually peripheral vascular disease. Okay, so when the blood supply to your fingers and toes are compromised, they turn blue, and this is called acrocyanosis. Okay, it can be caused by arterial disease or even like emboli, septic emboli, when you have infection in the blood that causes blockages in the blood vessels. Okay, this causes blue extremities. But chilblains, okay, which is basically the constriction of your blood vessels due to some infections. People thought COVID caused this. Okay, causes like blue toes and stuff like that. And of course, some autoimmune conditions are associated with a condition called Raynaud's phenomenon. Okay, where the spasms of the blood vessels causes blue colors of the fingers and toes. Okay, using my midnight palette. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in with the mid-tone first. Okay, so I'm using denim. Just putting that in my crease and the outer corner. Okay, other localized forms of blueness in the skin. You can have different tumors that look blue. Okay, of course, the most famous one is the blue nevus, which is basically a mole, which is just sitting a bit lower in the skin, and because of the Tyndall effect, looks blue. Blood vessel tumors sometimes look blue too. So the glomus tumor, which is a painful kind of collection of blood vessels, sometimes found around the nail, can be blue. Okay, or some cancers, such as angiosarcoma, which is a tumor of the blood vessels, also can look bluish sometimes. Okay, so blending things out around the eyes, especially when you have glue cover. Try not to swipe too much, but I'm doing patting motions instead. You blow that out a little bit, okay, and blend it out. I'm doing patting, patting, patting. I'm going in with the darker Midnight. Goes on lash. And you keep this much lower. And that gives you all that dimension. See? Compare both sides. Some infections can appear bluish. Okay, so especially infections, things like Pseudomonas, sometimes although it's classically green, sometimes it might appear with a little bit of a bluish hue. Now, not many other things that can cause blueness in the skin. Okay, so I'm just going to go and cut my crease quickly, and I'll be right back and maybe talk about other things that may be associated with blue skin, especially in pop culture. Okay, so done my eyes. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, so I've got this darker spectra set, which I'm going to use to contour a little bit. Okay, so this is a deeper blue. Let's hope this works. Don't want to get too muddy. Very careful. For skin tones, you have so much options to do, but for blue, we don't have that much. So I need to make sure this doesn't get too muddy. Okay, so blue skin in pop culture. Of course, you've got the Smurfs. Okay, and a lot of superheroes actually have blue skin. Okay, like Mystique, Beast has blue fur, Nightcrawler is kind of blue, and that's just the X-Men. Okay, and then you have Guardians of the Galaxy, Nebula's blue. Who else is blue? Okay, that's giving me enough dimension. Let's go with the nose. Of course, the Na'vi in Avatar are all blue. Some gods have blue skin. Okay, Kali in Indian mythology is blue. In Disney, Hades is kind of gray, but I think he's kind of blue as well. And there's some gods, like I think Poseidon, who have blue skin. I'm going to try a contour with a bit of a lighter shade. This cooler blue shade called C from the Beauty Bay palette. Yeah, these blue eyeshadows tend to be a little bit patchier, than our usual contour shades. Okay, use it out a bit. It's not bad. Okay, this shade of blue skin is a little bit darker than I want. Okay, this is more of a Kali blue. I think this is more of a Kali blue. There's a little greenish tinge to it. Okay, and actually, the reason why I'm doing this blue look is because I'm doing the promo for my next show. Okay, it's going to be Jazz in My Face 3, okay, our third jazz show. QABARET sings the blues, okay, and we're all going to be blue. So I'm practicing my makeup for that and doing the promo. So this is going to be in a promo pic. Yep, so it's going to be our next jazz show, and we're going to be singing all bluesy songs. Yeah, I think this color is quite good for a contour shade for blue skin. So I'm going to pop some here. See? That little streak gives it so much more dimension already, right? Okay, and for blush, we could go pink, or with blue, the blush would, I guess, look purple. This looks so much better than this side. Okay. This part looks a lot much blended than this part. So I'm going to go in with some white powder to try to fix that. Okay. Just going to try to blend this out a little bit. So it looks nice harsh. Ah, that fixed it. Look at that. Okay. Same, using the white, I'm going to use that to snatch the nose a little bit. Center of the forehead. Okay, so I'm almost done. Let's melt this a little bit. Maybe let the powders all kind of like melt together. That looks pretty good. And pop on some shimmer. I think this is blue. Okay, and I'm pretty much almost done. I'm gonna throw on a blue lip. Yeah, I think I won't use blush, but I just highlight like this beautiful bluish shimmer here. Wow, okay. All right, I'll be right back. All right, and this is the finished look. Okay, I've really blew myself this time. Okay, so yeah, I'm wearing this body stocking. It looks pretty much the same color, okay, except the hands look really wrinkly and weird. So I think I don't really like that. Okay, so I might have to figure out a different solution for the hands. But then, you know, at least it gives me the blue tone for the skin here. And yeah, this needs to go up a little bit more. Okay, so that's my video about blue skin in dermatology and pop culture. And if you want to catch me all blued up, come to my show in April, okay? It's called Jazz in My Face 3 QABARET Sings the Blues. Okay, we're going to be singing all sorts of bluesy songs in characters who are blue, okay? So come and check it out who I'm going to be. All right, so that was my video, you know. After I put this on, it was so difficult to get in this, especially today because I tried to do everything myself. I can't even glue down my wig because I can't do it with these gloves. I mean, with this body stocking. Okay, so that will all have to be done in post. All right. So if you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Sings the blues. I don't know whether ChatGPT can remove wrinkles from these gloves. We'll soon find out. Of course, I could have done this whole thing in AI, but I didn't. Okay, I painted myself blue. Ruined a few more towels just for you. If you remember, this was my Marge Simpson wig, and I did a collab with Elena Glam. Alright, so don't forget to check out my other videos. Check out my makeup color bingo video. I think that was a pretty cool video. And of course, don't forget to see my rock show, which was like a couple of weeks ago, and it was amazing.